I didn't share my recipes. Last Christmas, my Aunt Rosa passed away and left me her recipe collection, this huge wooden box filled with handwritten cards going back like 4 generations. She was the only one who ever treated me like family after my mom died when I was 8. Rosa raised me from that point on while my dad worked double shifts at the factory. Every Sunday we'd cook together and she'd teach me everything. Her famous mole that took 2 days to make, the tres leches cake that had people begging for the recipe, tamales so good they could make you cry. She always said cooking was love made visible, and that these recipes were our family's heart. But my cousins Jessica and Miguel never cared about any of that growing up. They were too cool to hang out in the kitchen with us old folks. Jessica was always out with her friends, and Miguel spent every visit glued to his phone, ignoring Rosa completely. They'd show up to family gatherings, eat the food, and leave without even saying thank you properly. When Rosa got sick last year, guess who was there every single day helping her eat, taking her to doctor appointments, and holding her hand? Me. Guess who visited maybe twice in 6 months? Them. But somehow after the funeral, they both felt entitled to everything she left behind. The day after we buried her, Jessica called me crying fake tears asking if I could send her the mole recipe because she wanted to make it for her boyfriend's family dinner. I told her no. Then Miguel texted saying he needed the tamale recipe for some potluck at work and how it would really help him impress his coworkers. Again, no. They both lost their minds. Started calling me selfish and saying Rosa would want me to share with family. Jessica even had the nerve to say I was being petty and that recipes were meant to be shared, not hoarded like some treasure. The thing is, these weren't just recipes to me. They were Rosa's legacy, her stories, her love written down in faded ink on cards she'd touched thousands of times. But here's where it gets good. About 2 months later, Jessica posts on Instagram about this amazing Mexican dinner she cooked for her boyfriend's parents. She's going on and on about how it's her grandmother's authentic recipe passed down through generations. The pictures looked decent, I'll give her that. Her boyfriend's mom even commented about how impressed she was with Jessica's cultural connection. I knew immediately she'd tried to recreate the mole from memory, or maybe found some random recipe online. A week later, I got a call from my uncle Carlos, Jessica's dad, laughing his head off. Turns out Jessica's boyfriend's family got food poisoning. Not like a little stomach ache either. Full on rushing to the emergency room, IV fluids, the whole thing. Apparently Jessica had substituted a bunch of ingredients because she couldn't find the right chilies and didn't understand the technique. She used some random peppers from the grocery store that were way too hot and didn't cook the sauce long enough to kill off whatever bacteria was growing in there. Her boyfriend broke up with her the next day, and his whole family thinks she tried to poison them. Miguel's story was even better. He decided to make tamales for his work potluck using what he remembered from watching Rosa maybe 3 times as a kid. This guy didn't even know you're supposed to soak the corn husks. He just grabbed some random leaves from his backyard, wrapped the masa in them, and steamed the whole mess. Turns out those leaves were from some decorative plant that's mildly toxic. Half his office ended up with rashes and stomach problems. His boss was furious, and Miguel got written up for bringing unsafe food to a company event. He's still getting called Poison Boy at work 6 months later. The best part is they both had the audacity to call me afterward asking for help. Jessica wanted the real mole recipe to make amends with her ex, and Miguel needed to prove to his coworkers that actual Mexican food wasn't dangerous. I told them both the same thing Rosa used to tell me: respect is earned, not given. Those recipes stayed locked away in Rosa's wooden box where they belong.